On our broadcast tonight, another monster storm on the way east. Many still snowed under from the last one. This one could have a ripple effect across the country. Toyota troubles take another bad turn. Should Americans stop driving them? We'll ask the Transportation Secretary, Ray LaHood, what he thinks now. In Haiti, the red tape that's making it so hard to help those who need it the most. And heavy lifting, the First Lady on a mission. Her message to parents about what our families consume. And how much would you pay to stay warm on an airplane? Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening. By one estimate, 48 million Americans are tonight preparing for at least 6 inches of snow. For some of them, in some of the big population centers, there's already 2 to 3 feet on the ground. They may get a foot more. The eastern seaboard is going to get battered, damaging winds expected. Power will go out, heavy snow will fall. That's where it begins. Then comes the ripple effect across the country. Again, Washington, D.C., it's in its path, among other cities. Remember, the federal government is still shut down because of last weekend's storm. Tom Costello is there tonight for this next one. Tom, good evening.
Hi, Brian. We still have thousands of people here in the D.C. metro area without heat or electricity. And now we're looking at 12 to 15 inches more here, more in Baltimore, they say, more in Philadelphia. That's on top of the 2 to 3 feet we already have. From the Midwest to the East Coast, the snow is all anyone can talk about.
We are talking about very heavy amounts of snowfall coming in here.
22 states are now under a winter watch or warning. Especially bad news for the Mid-Atlantic, still digging out from 2 to 3 feet of snow. Now more is on the way.
I just want to scream.
I'm just waiting for the sun now. You know, this snow is getting ridiculous.
In D.C., Virginia, and Maryland, schools remain closed, some gas stations are out of fuel, and grocery stores are running low on staples.
Well, I'm trying to get what I can. There isn't any regular milk, so now we're going to soy milk.
This auto repair garage collapsed under the weight of the snow.
Roof collapse are going to become an increasing problem. We've had a number of those around the state, and we anticipate that there will likely be more.
And with blizzard conditions now forecast for New York, the mayor today acted preemptively.
We are going to close all of the city's public schools on Wednesday.
Meanwhile, the second act to the travel nightmare has already begun, with airlines canceling flights and moving planes away from the storm. WMAQ's Christian Farr is in Chicago.
Here at Midway Airport, Southwest Airlines canceled all their flights for 24 hours, while at O'Hare, more than 500 flights have been canceled due to the weather.
Back in official Washington,
the weather is sort of interfering this week with our ability to do business as well.
Day 2 of the federal government shutdown, and many lawmakers have left town. Many roads in the nation's capital at an impasse of their own. Well, that means Congress, of course, isn't working on financial regulatory reform or health care for that matter, or the Toyota hearings. All of that will have to wait. The House doesn't get back until February 22nd. Brian?
Imagine inaction in Congress. At least this time we can blame the snow. Tom Costello starting us off from Washington. Al Roker's working tonight to talk to us about the storm's path. Al, a little bit of snow is a novelty. The kids love the days off. This is now serious and getting ridiculous.
That's right, and even dangerous, Brian. And as we can see on our maps, we've got winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, even winter storm watches stretching from Iowa all the way to New England. Almost 50 million people affected by these systems. And in fact, a number of cities are going to see their biggest snowfall seasons ever. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, Atlantic City will all break records over the next 48 hours. Here's the storm system on their satellite radar from Chicago, Green Bay, Alpena, Pittsburgh, seeing snow, as you saw in Tom Costello's live shot. Lots of snow in Washington. It's all part of a double-barrel low-pressure system. Right now, one low in Ohio, the other off the coast. The coastal low should become the dominant one early tomorrow morning, I should say. A mix of rain and snow along the coast. Then as it pulls away, it turns to all snow late tomorrow night and then moves away. Here's what we expect as far as accumulations by late tomorrow night. In the Midwest, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches, some areas as much as 9 inches from Chicago to Cleveland to Erie, Pennsylvania. Along the eastern seaboard, there's where we're going to see our biggest snowfall amounts. Wind gusts 50 to 55 miles per hour, possibility of blizzard-like conditions. But between Baltimore and Philadelphia, we expect to see the heaviest snow, up to 20 inches of snow. In New York City, closer to 16 inches. And as we move as far south as Washington, another 7 to 14 inches of snow. We'll update this for you tomorrow morning on Wake Up with Al on the Weather Channel and the Today Show, Brian, starting at 7.
Al, thanks. We will see you in the morning. Al Roker at the map for us here in New York tonight. Now we turn to what has become the largest consumer product crisis in recent memory in this country, the growing number of Toyota recalls. Today, another one, a big one, nearly 500,000 new Prius and other hybrids recalled for braking problems. Remember, the Prius is the new wave flagship of this car company. And more than 7,300 Camry sedans were recalled today because of a potential steering problem. In all, some 8.5 million Toyota vehicles have been recalled worldwide over the past few months. Remember, production shut down while they work on the fix. You may recall almost a week ago, Transportation Secretary Ray LaHood warned Toyota owners to stop driving their recalled cars. That happened during a hearing. He later said it was obviously a misstatement. The question is, what do you tell Toyota owners right about now? Secretary LaHood has been kind enough to join us from our Washington, D.C. newsroom. And Mr. Secretary, we do appreciate your time. A lot of Americans don't believe the fix. A lot of them never believed it was floor mats. How do they believe now that this is over? What will be their assurance?
Work very hard to make sure they get it.
Secretary of Transportation Ray LaHood, thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, for joining us on the broadcast tonight. We turn to Wall Street today. Debt was a big topic as word that Germany is considering loan guarantees for some European Union countries with big debt problems now. All of that sent stocks in this country higher. The Dow was up 150 points, regaining the 10,000 level, that mythic boundary. And on the issue of high debt levels saddling governments overseas and here at home, in our second of two reports this week, our chief foreign affairs correspondent Andrea Mitchell reports tonight on how much of America's debt is currently owned by China and why it could mean we're in for a real future shock in this country.
The breathtaking Shanghai skyline tells the story. China is an economic powerhouse, but does that mean it could become the world's next superpower? Beijing is already people if it wants to take its place as a true world power. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Washington.
And now to a story we are watching closely overseas right now. Our Tehran bureau chief, Ali Arouzi, tells us things are growing tense in Iran tonight, and there are other signs from there that something may be coming. The government and the political opposition are squaring off for what could be a big confrontation on Thursday, which is the anniversary of the revolution there. There is, according to Ali Arouzi, a visible and massive security presence in the capital. Authorities have issued serious threats to anybody who plans to protest. There's been a new wave of arrests across Iran in recent weeks. We will stay on this story closely again over the next 24 to 48 hours. When our broadcast continues here on a Tuesday night, Haitian children in need of medical help. But these days, what's stopping them from getting it? And later, the people making sure the Super Bowl champs get the welcome they deserve as their saints come marching home. This is video of the man some are calling the miracle survivor in Haiti, found in the rubble alive 27 days after the quake. He was taken for treatment at a University of Miami field hospital over near the airport. Doctors say he was dehydrated, badly disoriented. They're not sure how he survived, if he was indeed under the rubble this whole time. Meanwhile, the Haitian government now says the death toll is 230,000 and counting. In Haiti, according to one newspaper there, right now the effort is a race to avoid what they're calling death by red tape in Haiti. There is a theory that the case involving those American missionaries has made it tougher, made it worse to get children out of that country for immediate needed medical treatment. Our report tonight from Port-au-Prince and NBC's Mike Taibbi.
3-month-old Landina needed potentially life-saving cranial surgery, but her Doctors Without Borders specialists couldn't do it in Haiti. Mike Taibbi, NBC News, Port-au-Prince.
When we continue our reporting here tonight, in just a moment, Michelle Obama gets personal in her new campaign against childhood obesity.
And that's the epidemic of childhood obesity in America today.
She's been talking about it for some time now, but today, First Lady Michelle Obama officially kicked off her mission to fight this nation's epidemic of childhood obesity. The campaign is called Let's Move. She talked about it today in a personal and urgent way.
Because this isn't about inches and pounds, and it's not about how our kids look. It has nothing to do with that. It's about how our kids feel.
First Lady's goals are ambitious. They include getting kids to do more exercise, providing healthier foods in schools, better foods in neighborhoods in this country. We all know the health dangers of smoking and even breathing secondhand smoke. Now, a new category to consider. Add to that list what's being called third-hand smoke. That's smoke residue on carpets, upholstery, even the kind you smell on a smoker's clothing. A new study says it can mix with chemicals already in the air to create a cancer threat. At greatest risk, the study says, infants and small children. What were once the comforts of flying are getting harder to come by, as you may know. American Airlines says starting the 1st of May, most of its passengers will have to pay $8 if they want a blanket. On domestic flights lasting less than 2 hours, coach passengers won't have blanket access at any price. And in this current climate, it's conceivable passengers will be urged by the airlines to sit as close as possible to their seatmate to stay warm and avoid those blanket charges. Up next, a city welcoming home its champions. Now, if they do this right in New Orleans, and knowing them, they probably will, it will become one continuous party from Super Bowl Sunday all the way until Mardi Gras. They are well on their way to their goal tonight. The victory parade starting at the Superdome, the place where we witnessed so much misery during and after Katrina, is tonight the center of blissful celebration in that great American city. Of course, New Orleans knows how to put on a parade, but with only a couple days' notice to pull it all together, tonight's event was a bit of a staging challenge. They needed experts fast, but it turns out they have a lot of them right there. Our story tonight from NBC's Janet Shamlian.
For Barry Kearns, life can feel like a never-ending parade.
You guys have power to this yet?
It's in his blood. For 3 generations, the Kearns family has turned out mega-sized Mardi Gras floats, towers of fiberglass and plaster and millions. Janet Shamlian, NBC News, New Orleans.
Indeed they are. That's our broadcast for this Tuesday night. Thank you for being with us. I'm Brian Williams. We hope to see you right back here tomorrow evening. Good night.